Hello, hello. We are here and we're getting ready to pull in our Instagram audience. We want you to give us like 30 seconds, if you will, and we will be right back. All right, all right. We are here again. Good evening. Good evening, Mr. E.
And a pleasant good afternoon to you. How are you on such a beautiful day like today?
Doing just fine, excited, happy, glad to be in the land of the living.
I know that's right.
I tell you what, this is FYI After Dark. We already have someone on. Miss Naturally, Chrissy Marie, my beautiful baby bird, is up here. I'm going to say good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Mr. E, I want to just welcome everyone, our platforms, Facebook Live, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe on these channels. We would really appreciate your support. Again, I am Yolanda Hinton. I welcome my co-host, Evrette, and we're going to have a good time because we have a topic that we've been wanting to go over with you all, a dialogue with you. It's a very important topic, and it's something that I have been interested in Mr. E for quite some time, so much so that I decided to get in as an advocate and just make sure that I've done all I can to make kids safe in any environment that they may be in. We're going to talk about the subject of bullying. But before we do, Ms. E, how are you doing? And also, would you let folk know what we do Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, live radio? Give them that information first.
Thank you, Miss Hinton. I'm doing wonderful. And yes, you can catch Miss Hinton and I on FYI AM. That's right. FYI radio show live on WPCE 1400, WGPL 1350, Peace 95.3 FM, and WMVA 88.9 FM, and on all social media platforms Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 to 10 on all social media and radio.
Mr. Joseph Williams, how are you? Thank you so much for watching and just supporting FYI Radio Show. We're going to have plenty of folk that's going to chime in as well. Make sure you get into the chat if you have any questions or if you have any comments. Make sure you kind of let us know your opinion. Speak up, speak out. Even if you don't agree with some things, just make sure you let your voice be heard. Mr. E, we're going to talk about this thing called bullying, but let me first introduce our sponsors. One of our sponsors, who is it, Mr. E? We have Bulvic.
Bulvic. Yeah.
This show is sponsored by Bulvic Academy, BULVIC. Make sure you all go to the website, bulvicacademy.com. Check out information for parents and teachers and for our community about bullying in our blogs. Also, books that are there. Bullying is right underneath your nose, and the Diary of a Former Bully, which is in Spanish, it's in English, it's Audible. You can get it for your youngins, you can get it for yourself. And also there's a game called Bulvic. It's an anti-bullying game. I created it, took a year to do it. It's a wonderful game for anybody, actually, but it's not for the faint of heart. Is that right, Mr. E?
That is so true. This game is not for the faint of heart. If you're not a reader and you can't use your hands and your fingers to move the joysticks and things of that nature, it's not for the faint of heart. I
Yes,
had to really learn it.
yes. So it's a lot going on. You're going to have to be able to read, like Mr. E says, you're going to have to fight monsters. You're going to have to
That's right.
visit and talk to your teachers and students. You're going to have to, find out how you can create a pleasant energy in the game. It's a lot going on in the game, but it's a fun game, and it's going to take you a minute to figure it out. But once you get a hang of it, don't give up. Keep going back until you master this game. It's called Bulvic, Bulvic, part of our sponsorship, Bulvic Academy. Please, please, please visit the website. Also, Big God's
That's right.
owner, Chris Hinton. I tell you what, he's put together some great products. Anything you need for your hair, for your beard. He has things that you can take into vitamins. You can take biotin vitamins to help to have a really, really great head of hair. We're not talking about a miracle drug or drop. We're just talking about something that is already in our atmosphere or in our stores and things like that, that you can take vitamins that you can take to enhance nails, hair, and things like that. But he can explain it better than I can. If you go to beardgods.com, BeardGodz, and check him out. He has information about hair growth, hair grooming. He has picks that you can use instead of some of the things that you have been using that usually kind of abuse the hair instead of strengthening it. He has products that will help strengthen the beard, groom the beard, and the hair. He has shampoos. He has conditioners. He has hats. He has make beards. Make beards great again. He has that hat. He has hoodies. All kind of things that you can have to really, really get yourself looking good. Mr. E, are you a witness?
I'm a witness. I'm telling you that I used to do the stuff the wrong way until I begin to use the product itself. I mean, gray hair is one of the hardest hair to control. It's stubborn. It does its own thing until I started using Beard God. I started moisturizing and oiling my skin. I started using the right proper methods that need to be done in order to contain my beard.
Well, I tell you what, you all can be a witness too. Go to beardgods.com, BeardGodz. The owner is Mr. Chris Hinton. I tell you what, he's got a wealth of information there. And I tell you what, check him out because he uses it himself. His beard is absolutely fabulous. He keeps that hair and everything groomed. He recommends that you make sure you have a good barber or somebody, a stylist or somebody that can really show you how to maintain it as you continue to grow it and, keep it healthy and strong. So check out beardgods.com. That is one of the sponsors, and we will appreciate it. I want to mention again, Mr. E said we are hosts of FYI Radio Morning Show Live radio, real radio, Peace 95.3 FM, WGPL 1350, WPCE 1400, WMVA 88.9 FM, along with social media, Facebook Live, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. Make sure you all like, share, subscribe. Make sure you follow us on those platforms. And we will have those platforms in the chat, and we will also post. But you can usually just Google in those chats our name, Yolanda Hinton or Edward Everett. It should come up, and we are everywhere. And we're very excited about that because we get a chance to talk to you all, live radio, live audience.
That's
and
right.
We are here on the World Wide Web. to really lift our voice and talk about a lot of things. FYI, for your information, bringing you information of all kinds. We've had great segments, great guests, great topics. I don't know what we haven't covered, but I tell you what, if we haven't covered it, and you know we haven't covered it, all you got to do is inbox us, and later on, Mr. E is going to give us the email address, and you can say, listen, I'd like for you all to talk about it. I haven't heard you say not one thing about the subject. And so, we will listen to the things that you all have to say, and we will govern ourselves accordingly.
That's right. That's right. And that's right.
Absolutely. So in the meantime, this evening, we wanted to do a part one and talk about this thing called bullying.
That's right.
Bullying is right underneath your nose. I just want to give you a little history of how I got started. I was a facilitator for a organization in the state of Virginia in Newport News. And it was something that I never really thought about. I was doing a prevention program for young people, first grade to sixth grade. And wonderful, wonderful program. And was really glad to be able to talk to kids, educate kids on drug prevention, tobacco prevention. And it was a really, really good program. The state had this program and still does have this wonderful program. And it is really something that I loved. I did it for 5 years. Within that 5 years, I just began to see some things. And I said to myself, what is this? I saw this thing called bullying. And like I said, Mr. E really paid a lot of attention to bullying. But I mean, I've seen it, of course, throughout the years. But I did not know that it can sometimes get really, really out of hand.
That's right. That's right, Miss Hinton. It can get really out of hand, especially if you think it's just child's play. If you think it's just bumps on the law, oh, he's just kidding. No. Pay close attention to it as we dialogue with you on tonight and give you part one, going to part two on what is bullying.
Absolutely. So I said, wait a minute, this is something I feel the need to address. Like I said, I'm doing a prevention program, but I felt like we should I should kind of dig deeper into what this thing is. And it was bullying on every level. You had kids bullying kids, teachers bullying kids, kids bullying teachers. It was just it was just so visible and it's just right there. So much so it inspired me to write the book, Bullying is Right Underneath Your Nose. And I started researching, y'all. I started finding out what bullying is, why people bully, and who is being bullied. I went outside of where I was working to kind of do the research, to kind of get together with other people, just asking questions of people's experience and parents and schools. And so I started the movement, Our Community Against Bullying, a Call to Action Now. Talked to parents, found out that a lot of them, not all, have had the experience one time or another with their children, in schools, on the playground, wherever kids reside, you're going to find this thing called bullying somewhere. And we know that bullying can be so discreet. People usually when they're abusing someone or bullying someone, they do it incognito. That's they kind of like keep it on the DL. They make sure you don't find out because they want this continuation, this thing to continue to take and really make their bully feel the effect of what they are doing. And so talk to the community. We had rallies. I did dinner and a dialogue with teachers and administrators and politicians. We had the mayor, some of the mayors there. We had senators there. We had so many people that were getting involved in it. Churches, our community against bullying, a call to action now, really began to take off. Mr. E, we had our rallies, but I know you remember the first Our Community Against Bullying, a call to action now rally in South Norfolk.
Yes.
And we had a great
Turnout.
program and everything. And we also, with the, like I said, with the dinner and the dialogue, we made sure people of all walks of life would come and participate. And so that's how I got started. It like I said, it took off on its own because there were people that were experiencing it on such a level. I just did not realize how great the cause would be, Mr. E. We talked to parents that children had gone from being good students to being harassed and feeling abused and wanting to stay out of school.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even want to go to school. Is that right?
That's right. We talked to folks that didn't want to go to school and played like they were sick because they was being bullied, and mothers and fathers didn't recognize why my child don't want to go to school, and they have different change of attitudes when it came down to being bullied. They kept quiet. They didn't want nobody to know because there's a slogan that says "snitches get stitches." So they didn't want nobody to know that they was being bullied.
Absolutely, they were suicidal. It just caused a whole lot of mental stress and mental illness. And I mean, this it was from mild to extreme bullying that I came across, and I really, really wanted to do something about it. I found out that schools really need, to have advocates and people that are concerned about kids in school. One of the things that I found out, Mr. E, that was one of the problems is where I was working, it was so many children, so many students, but not enough adults.
Yeah.
And so when you get that atmosphere like that, you find where kids can get you to the side and talk about you and pick on you and hurt you. You are not protected. You're not able to have somebody to advocate for you, or you're not able to tell somebody. You don't know exactly how to get your point across to people to say, listen, somebody's doing me harm. Why? Because of the threats. Because of the threats. A lot of time their threats is if you tell. Like Mr. E said, stitches, snitches right. Get stitches. That's right. That's how they do it. Mr. E, look up what is bullying and let them know as I talk, because we're going to not just talk about bullying, but we're going to talk about cyberbullying in particular on today. It's part one. And Mr. E is going to give you the definition of bullying. I'm sure you all know or have experienced. Now, not only did I discover bullying with children and students, there were adults that had grown up being bullied and traumatized as a result of it. Some of them were teaching. I have a book called The Diary of a Former Bully, but I also have bullying, the former bully, which kind of shows you how people come into bullying. Bullying is right underneath your nose is another one. It's a good startup book that tells you how it happens, who it happens to, and the fact that it does traumatize people throughout their lives.
That's right. That's
right. Mr. E, do you have the definition yet?
When we begin to look at the definition of bullying, you'll find that bullying is unwanted, aggressive behavior amongst school-age children that involve a real or perceived power imbalance. The behavior is repeated or has the potential to be repeated over time. Both kids who are bullied and who bullies others may have serious, lasting problems.
Absolutely. In the book, Bullying is Right Underneath Your Nose, it talks about the bully who actually uh, has sometimes have problems within themselves. And so they lash out on others. They target certain people. In the book, it says it targets weak, handicapped, kids that are different, lonely kids that don't have a support system. And so they reach out and they kind of like look and see who could be their victim.
That's right.
Who can I mess with? Who can I, they like salivating. It's like, oh, this year I think it's gonna be you. Why? Because you don't have anybody defending you. You out on your own. Nobody's paying attention. You and you're weak. And so that's how they look at it. It's like I have power over you. I can really, really take, and I can do a number, and I can tell you this. Don't tell nobody. If you do, there's going to be consequences and repercussions. And so that child, who is sometimes a child that does not know how to speak up and speak out, don't have the tools to do it, they keep quiet. And every day, I always tell this story, Mr. E, about the young man who was bullied in school. Thank God it finally stopped, but this is how it stopped. His bully would come to him every day and take his money. Every day and take his money. One day the bully came to take his money and he was crying like a baby, this victim. He was crying so bad that the bully said, "What's wrong with you? What are you crying about? What's your problem?" He said, "I'm hungry. I need to eat. I'm hungry." He said, "Well, if you're so hungry, why don't you go in the cafeteria and eat? Why are you telling me I want your money? I'm not thinking about whether you're hungry or not." He said, "I can't. I can't buy anything. You take my money every day." And from that day on, and this is a real story, the young man said he stopped bullying this victim because he did not have a clue that it was breaking this child's heart. He thought he was just from his end just doing something. Oh, I'm just bad enough to take. I'm gonna make you a victim, and I'm not gonna care how you feel. I'm not gonna have any, sympathy or empathy for you. I don't care how you feel. Until he saw it with his own eyes, the child had broken down so bad and was hurt that he finally got it. That bullying does a lot of harm.
That's right. That's right, Miss Hinton. Folks may not be aware of how much damage that a bully can do to a person. They can cause them to have mental illness. They can cause them to shy away or to shut down, especially when they've been bullied and keeping it to themselves. They get to the point where they started being mean and they started being hateful, disrespectful, because somebody has told them they're holding it in and they can't let it go. So when you look at a bully, you see that it's not the best thing in the world.
Absolutely. A victim doesn't know sometimes how to tell. They've been threatened not to tell. They don't know how to advocate for themselves. They don't know how to stand up. They don't sometimes don't have the tools. And then they can tell folks sometimes, and people will ignore them as though they were just making it up.
Yeah.
Well, this kid is messing with me every day on the bus. Oh, just grow up. You just
right.
Fight back. And you just leave that child hanging to defend himself. And he doesn't know how to defend himself, else he would never, it would never go to as long as it can go. Sometimes this bullying goes throughout a child's school, through their age, through elementary. If that bully see you in middle school, there you are. You're going to be a victim again. And then you're going to have in high school that same problem if it's not remedied or if somebody doesn't put a stop to it.
That's right, Miss Hinton. That is so true.
Tonight, we're gonna do a part 2, and we're gonna continue the dialogue. But I wanted to talk to you all in particular about cyberbullying, because some of the young people that I have come across, Mr. E, I'm sure you have too, they're experiencing something different, and it's the same old ugly thing called bullying, but it's done in a different way.
That's right.
It's called cyber bullying, and it's very, very harmful, and it's very, very harmful because that person, especially if you're staying on social media, they can track you wherever you go, and then they can cause a flood of people that don't like them and like you to do all the harm in the world.
When you look at the definition of cyberbullying, Ms. Hinton, it says cyberbullying, including sending, posting, or sharing negative, harmful, false, or mean content about someone else. It can include a sharing personal or private information about someone else, causing embarrassment or humiliation. That's cyberbullying. It's electronic communication.
Absolutely. It says anyone who sends any online communications to deliberately frighten, embarrass, harass, or otherwise target another is cyberbullying. The cyberbullying can use instant messenger, email, websites, diary sites, online profiles, interactive games, tablets, and cell phones to assault his or her victim.
That's right.
I always say this, Mr. E. I say, listen, you can take, and you don't even have to be a person that bullies all the time. Just take, for instance, if one person get on social media and say that, yeah, I got somebody that has just, they think they all that, they think they're cute, and you should see them, and here come their friends.
That's right.
Here come their fans, and all of a sudden that person is taken, and I mean raked over the coal by folk that don't know them, but they just happen to be friends with that person that's a little upset.
That's right.
And they take and they will run that person, that child, or that adult. Sometimes it's an adult, and they will wear you out so much so you would almost lose your mind. And I'm not telling you all this from just making up a story. We'll have witnesses of young people that have gone through it, wherein they said one thing on social media, and the whole world seemed like the whole world came against them. They almost thought they would lose their mind.
That's right.
They just could not believe that people would turn on you so much. Now, listen, we got something, incident now, and everybody's talking about it. It's not news. I'm not bringing new tea, but we got Snoop Dogg. We got some of these other artists that people felt as though they didn't have any business going into the political world and, performing and doing things for anybody on a side that they didn't think is the right side. And so these guys are being tortured and tormented by anybody that just feels like doing a number. And that's kind of an example of how it is. You do one wrong thing, and the thing about it, even if you do one wrong thing to one person, it can cause a storm of folk to come against you like I don't know what, and turn your life upside down.
It's like telling a rumor. All these rumors, somebody's putting something out there on you, it'll go like wildflower. It go like a wire fire, like that fire in California. It spreads like crazy. And
Yes,
everybody that you turn to, talk to, see, and know, everybody knows your business. So you got to be careful. You got to be careful with this cyberbullying, because cyberbullying, everybody's on their electronic devices.
absolutely.
Anybody can see it.
Yeah, we're going to be talking to some folk that, like I said, have experienced cyberbullying. And, like I said, it's not just a thing that somebody comes up there once or they go, head to head with somebody. They bring the whole world
That's right.
with them to destroy you, to help you to just feel belittled. And it brings on so many things, Mr. E. It brings on anxiety, stress, depression. People want to get rid of themselves, do all kind of things because they don't know the answer and they don't know who can advocate for them. Now, we have three types of folk. We have the bully, we have the victim, and we have the bystander. And the bystander,
I stand.
the bystander may not think. We know the bully's gonna do harm. And we know that sometimes the victim is gonna do harm to themselves. But then you have this thing called the what? Bystander,
Yeah.
who stands by and will not do a thing, but will sit there sometimes and egg it on.
That's right.
Sometimes they egg it on. Sometimes they just adore it. They won't do it themselves, but they get them. Just do it. Just have you had someone bullying someone and everybody want to run to the fighter? The bully got the victim, and he's gonna tear him up, beat him up, and everybody's running to it. Not gonna do nothing about it. Not gonna help the situation, but they're gonna sit back and stand by and watch. You have that type of bystander. Then you have a bystander that does not know exactly what to do. They don't know how to calm the sea. They don't know how to get rid of the problem for the victim or the bully. They don't know how to help the bully. They don't know how to help the victim. They're just standing by watching. And they like, I want to help, but I don't know what to do. If I help, they may turn on me.
That's right.
And so these are three type of folk that we are into reaching and helping to rise above. We want the victim to not be a victim anymore.
That's right. That's what it's all about. We don't want that victim to be a victim anymore. And we want to bring great awareness to it so that you be able to recognize it from a distance. You be able to see the traits of it. You see how, be able to understand what's going on and recognize so that you can help someone as they travel along the way.
Absolutely. We want to help the bully.
That's right.
We welcome bullies at our events. We welcome bullies, and we want them to reform. The Diary of a Former Bully is a perfect book for our children and our schools that tell you how to reform, tell you how you need sympathy and empathy for others. It shows you how to have compassion, something that a bully it just sometimes don't feel. I told you about the kid that took the lunch money. He didn't have a clue that he was doing such harm.
That's right.
In the book Diary of a Former Bully, it's a young man who finally realizes what bullying is and the harm that he has caused this child or children or many. And he decided to reform. And that's why we are doing this, not just for somebody that's being bullied, but the bully needs help as well. Sometimes, Mr. E, bullies come about because they have been bullied. I met a young man who said he became a bully because he was being bullied. So he had to take on that role of trying to be tough and big and bad because he didn't know any other answer. He didn't know any other way of getting out of this predicament. He didn't want to be a victim, but he ended up turning into a bully victimizing other kids. So,
And and that's
mhm.
what happened. Sometimes it reverses. It goes to someone who's been bullied. Now they become a bully because they got sick and tired of being sick and tired. When you started looking at them that's being bullied, that is the bully. Sometimes you wants to know, why is this person bullied? What makes this person tick like that? And
Mhm.
you'll find that out here if you stick around with us. You'll find what makes a bully bully. There's
Mhm.
some reasons, there's some things that's not ticking right that makes that person a bully. And a lot of them, when a girl and a boy, oh, that's child play, that's just puppy love. Now you got to pay close attention to that puppy love, because that puppy love can turn out to be an abusive relationship or abusive way of showing how much they love you. So you got to understand that bullying is everywhere, and you got to pay close attention to every angle and every area around.
The bystander, we want to help the bystander, because the bystander actually should be an advocate. An advocate. He or she should actually know what to do. He should have tools to know what to do when he sees bullying. He shouldn't be sitting there rah
Rah,
and
rah, yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
get him. He should be able to say, stand down, you're wrong, or let's stand with this young person, uh, so you won't come and keep doing them harm. Advocates, the adult advocate, children, we need everybody to help remedy the problem. It's too many bystanders,
That's right.
too many bullies, and it's too many victims.
That's right. That's right.
And so we want to really get help for all three. Getting back to cyberbullying and a point that Mr. E made, you have that cyberbullying online where it's sexual harassment. You could have people, uh, trying to, do a number on you, in so many ways, stalking and all kind of things to set, really, to really get at you. And so cyberbullying comes in so many forms, Mr. E. Uh, and like I said, you're able to actually get to people so quickly, so quickly. You're actually able to follow them on their platforms. You're actually able to get them and send notes to, say it's a kid in school. The bully can take and send information to their friends and cause, like I said, all of them to come and harass you. So it's so easily. I know a young lady in particular, she had to shut down all her social media platforms. She's a teenager, and she could not be on social media because they lit her up. Everything that could come against her, adults and young people. Did you hear
That's
what I
right.
said? Adults and young people came after this young girl and made her life a living hell. And so a lot of them have to get off of social media. But guess what? By the time all that happens, they are dealing with things like I said, anxiety.
That's right.
They are emotionally upset. They withdraw. They don't know who to turn to, Mr. E.
That's right.
And they begin to quiet themselves down. A lot of them quiet themselves down, and they don't know how to recover. They get into a shell, and it's just so much that happens to them. Like I said, they are emotionally upset. They are secretive. They withdraw. They have a lack of interest in family and friends and activities. They kind of want to just go somewhere and hide in a closet and
That's
stay
right.
away from the world because they feel as though they're not protected.
And also, Miss Hinton, they feel so powerless. Their hope is gone. They feel the power that they may have is gone. Who's going to believe me? Who, because when you are a young man, a young woman, and you got everybody against you, that especially in the cyberbully space, then your parents said, listen, just ignore it. Listen, parents, stop telling your child to ignore it. And once they do ignore you, they're going through some mental illness. They feel powerless. They don't want to go to school anymore. Their body's acting out of character, because this person has done a number on them. And everybody on social media knows their name and don't know their name, but they will know who they are after a while. They got pictures surfacing around when you might have been a young child, young kid in school. They'll surface those pictures around, and now everybody be on the look. Your name come up somewhere down in your high school or in your middle school, and folks seeing you on social media. And they said, that's that little girl. And that's how things get out. That's how things hurt folks, so that wherever you may go. And we ask the question sometimes, Ms. Hinton, why is there so many young folks going to mental illness, going to hospitals, going to psychiatrists? Why is the juvenile courts or jailhouses are so full? Why is it happening? Why? Because of this thing called bullying.
Absolutely. Bullying is not child's play. It's not something that you can just push off. When it's truly bullying, you're going to feel the effect of it. Another thing that happens on when people are cyberbullying is actually making up lies and telling lies, baby. They don't even have to come with the truth about you. And a lot of them do. They say, well, like Mr. E said, yeah, look at you when you did this and you were on. But honey, it also goes to another level when people are spreading rumors and lies. How in the world can you handle lies? Somebody just blatant out there just telling stuff and they know it's not true.
That's right.
But by the time you try to get it and put a handle to it, it is gone so far. It could go around the world, actually. And the next thing you know, you got people against you. They turning their nose at you. They're shunning you. They like you said, putting pictures of you in all kind of situations and making fun of your looks and everything that you do. And it can be a living a nightmare. How do you catch hold and get a handle on lies? Bullying, coming on my platform and say, I don't like you, you think you cute, is one thing. But honey, when lies and flies, folk out there just telling anything on you, that's a real problem.
That's right. It's a real problem. It get the best of a person because they want to know that people that don't even know you, now they know your business. They know something of you. But Ms. Hinton, when we begin to look at it, it only takes one person to cause a ruckus in one's life. That one person, and folks don't even know you, can turn folks against you. One person can turn other folks, 5, 6 other folks against you because they believe in the lie that she's told. So, listen, and that causes you to have miserable sleep at night, causes your body to act out of character, dysfunction, cause you to have a mental nervous breakdown, cause you to be disrespectful to your parents, cause you to be disrespectful to your teacher. And it's not you, cause your grades to plunder, to go all the way down. So, it's not you. It's because somebody that caused you that triggered you and call themselves bullying you, cause you to make that turnaround.
Absolutely. So we're going to have a dialogue. We'll probably have some Zoom meetings, and we will continue this dialogue so you can hear some of the folk that have been affected by this thing called bullying.
That's right.
We'll have some folk that come on and tell you how much harm cyber bullying has done in their world. We'll have some great stories though, some great stories of bullies who, have reformed.
That's right.
We'll have folk that are not victims anymore, but they begin to stand up and stand strong. I wanted to give you some of the things that you can do, and like I said, we will talk more and more about this. And you can also get the books that are online, bulvicacademy.com, BULVIC. For children, it really, really lays out what a bully is and who he bullies and why he bullies and the effect. But then in the diary of a former bully, it's a story of a young man that has been reformed, and he finds out that he's going in the wrong direction. And you should see how it plays out where he gets back on the right track and he becomes an advocate. So we would like for you to, kind of talk to your children and tell them some of the things that they can do. First of all, you can ignore a bully, and you can walk away. You don't have to entertain them. You can walk away, and you can, just have that confidence. And that's one thing, Mr. E, we've got to teach our kids is that confidence. My organization, I founded Crystal Community Development Corporation, and the mission is to develop young leaders. And so those are the things that we teach them: confidence and self-esteem. But the thing about it, where we have a struggle is when we don't have enough of the community to stand with us, or the schools or parents, to fight against this thing called bullying. That's why I created our Community Against Bullying, a call to action. Now, our community against bullying, our community, meaning our teachers, our politicians, our communities, our governors, presidents, our parents, our churches, our businesses coming together to help this problem, because this problem is not a little thing. It's not child's play. It is doing a whole lot of harm, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so we want to develop young leaders. We want to give kids confidence. There's mentoring programs out here. My mentoring program, Young Women and Young Men Achieving Success, that teaches esteem, that assists parents in the community and helping kids to become stronger, to become advocates, to really, really, really stand strong and speak up and speak out. Like I said, ignore the bully.
That's right.
Walk tall, hold your head up high. Don't get physical. Try to talk to people, your parents and others, about what's going on. You can practice confidence. Make sure you talk about it. Make sure you join in with other kids that and parents who address these issues. There's a lot more organizations, Mr. E, than Crystal Community and our young mentoring programs that address it. You got to, and the schools are supposed to address it. We're going to have someone come in, administrator coming to talk to our audience about some of the problems that they see and how they're trying to get some of this stuff remedied, because it is big, it's vast, it's not a little problem. And so we want to educate parents, and we want to get the community together to help them to understand that any environment that you find children in could be an environment where it can cause harm. Because guess what? We said it earlier, Mr. E. You can take a child and you can put them in the corner and say, I'm going to do a number on you, and you better not tell anyone.
That's right. That's right.
And so we have to get together and find out where those kids are. We don't want anyone falling through the cracks. We don't want to see kids doing away with themselves or harming themselves.
Cutting themselves up. Yeah.
Yes, we want to make sure that we can help the problem and not hurt the problem.
And that's what it's all about, Miss Hinton. When you on cyberbullying and on being bullied around the town, get your parents involved. Get folks involved. Don't you just try to handle the situation by yourself. Don't you take on a monster. See, but what happens to a lot of people, a lot of young people, they try to take it on all by themselves.
Yes.
It's nothing because somebody done got in your head that if you tell somebody, there's going to be some physical damage that's going to come your way, or they going to do something to your family.
Yeah.
You know, one thing, Miss Hinton, that really gets to a lot of us today is because Johnny may be a big bad in school, bully, always flexing his muscles and things of that nature, and everybody is afraid of him.
Oh, wow. Yes.
And so since everybody's afraid of him, he already got a name. He got a reputation. He goes around picking on fights and picking on people, taking stuff. So now everybody is aware that Johnny is going. Well, see, when you see Johnny come at you, make sure you tell your parents about it. Do not take matters and don't ball up in a corner and cry, because the thing about it is, go and tell an adult. Go and tell the teachers. They probably know that Johnny is bad, but they don't want to say anything because he come from a family of being bad. So, it's a legend, but you gotta stop it, because if you don't stop it, somebody gonna stop you, and it's gonna hurt you more than it's gonna hurt them.
Absolutely. And so make sure you talk to your kids about bullying. You can visit Bulvic Academy, Bulvic, and you can learn some of the things that's in the blog. You can also get the book, Bullying is Right Underneath Your Nose. You have to tell kids what is going on and what can happen in our school or other environments. Doesn't have to be the school. Anywhere, Missy, where kids reside. It could be on the bus stop. You know what I'm saying? It could be on the. It could be in the church. You could wherever there's children, you can usually find someone that wants to have power, whether it's extreme or it is not as extreme. Somebody always want to push somebody around.
Push that button.
That's right. And so,
not only is it in child's play, but it's also adults also.
Absolutely.
Independent living facilities where everybody is freelancing and set in their ways. And, it happens in independent living facility where it's an open bay. Everybody wants to be in charge. All these grown folk that's running around these facilities, they really trying to establish their territory. Listen. Why can't we just all get along?
Yeah, that would be fine. But I tell you what, kids need tools.
That's right.
They need tools because of the environment. It is so many children, not enough adults. And sometimes people are not paying attention to the environment of what's going on. It could be on the bus stop. It could be in cyber world. I mean, it can be everywhere, and it can happen to adults. We're addressing children now because, this is something that my heart is longing for, to see kids to have an environment where they can learn.
That's right.
And they can become leaders. That's why I say Young Women and Men Achieving Success program, to develop young leaders. We don't want nobody taking nobody's potential. And that's what happens with this bullying. They take and tear down a person and their potential. The next thing you know, they're unalive. They're not here. Why? Because somebody got into it and destroyed a life of somebody that could have been the next president, or could have been the next teacher, or the next doctor, or the next business person, because they have taken and pulled a person down. So we want to make sure we are doing our part as adults. If you are interested in being a part of our community against bullying, a call to action now. We've had rallies, not enough parents, not enough folk come out sometimes, Mr. E, because it's a subject they either feel like it doesn't matter, they're not going through it, or they ignore the signs, or some people don't care. The environments in the school now, you parents, hold up now. Parents, come on, really? You really want to take your beautiful child and put it in the environment in some of these places and let folks wreak havoc over them? Like I said, we're here to develop young leaders. And are you telling me that that is not an important thing, that you don't care what road these children go down? We need enough people in the community, leaders, business folk, pastors and churches, and
Get involved, yeah.
everybody come together to help remedy this problem, so we can have a society full of productive young people with high self-esteem, and some of the suicide rates will not be high, and we have people that are well productive and well-rounded citizens. Who would want that?
And that's what it's all about, Miss Hinton. Us coming together as male and female, mothers and fathers, neighbors, family members, us coming together and being on one accord, that we'll be able to help our community to grow and stop so much. Miss Hinton, there's a lot of people in our community that they don't even know who their neighbors are. One time or another, it was not like that. But
Yes.
you got to know who your neighbors. Go around and introduce yourself to your neighbor. Not to the point where they think that you're being nosy. No, it's not that. It's trying to help each other as we travel. We're in this thing together. I saw so many folks come together in California when the fire broke out.
Mm-hmm.
And homes was destroyed. They weren't enemies, even though there was folks going around there stealing and looting, but they pulled together to make sure that folks got what they needed and stop the looters and the stealers from coming around wreaking havoc on their belongings or their property. Come on, let's stop this stuff. Let's build our community, build better men and women, and stop our children from being afraid to go anywhere. Just stop it. Our jailhouses are being full with negative. Miss Hinton, as I begin to talk to some people today, and I know that they're saying for a fact that we let wrong into the White House. I'll stop that right now.
Yeah.
We let wrong into different places. So the qualifications of what is needed, we really done jumped off the bandwagon.
I tell you what, we want you all to get involved. Our community against bullying, a call to action now. You all, when we have the rallies, come on out. Come on. Yeah. Be concerned about the schools. Now, I'm going to say it one more time here. Go into the schools and see what's in there.
That's right.
Go in there and see the environment. And there's learning, there's positivity, there's good teachers. But there's this thing called bullying, and
right.
Each school is supposed to have a program to address these things. And so don't send your child to school with your head in the sand thinking that it's an environment that you won't see that, or you won't see fighting or chaos. I talk to young people all the time, and there's always drama, fighting, picking on that stuff is there. I'm trying to tell you. And so you need to get involved with what's going on with your child and make sure they have the tools to be able to deal with bullying and able to keep it from taking over their lives so they can be who they need to be.
That's right.
So we're going to continue the conversation. I want you all to make sure you go to bulvickacademy.com, our sponsors, BULVIC academy.com, and go read some of the information there and get the books and get the games. The books are in Spanish, English, hard copy, download. The books are audible. Even if you don't feel like reading,
it'll read.
You can download and it will read to you.
That's
also,
right.
The game Bulvick. If you want your child in a safe environment, and let me say something about cyberspace when it comes to games. I assure you, you all better be looking at some of these platforms these children are, because guess what? You got predators, you got bullies. It's a mess on some of these game platforms. Make sure you know what your child is engaged in, and make sure they have something wholesome. Make sure they're getting games that's going to help them to their literacy. They'll read more, or they'll challenge themselves more. They'll understand how to make a better environment. They'll communicate with teachers, and they'll communicate with one another. It's a wonderful game. Bulvic, Bulvic, is on the website Bulvic Academy. Get that game, get those books, get that information, be a part of our community. Make sure you're at the rallies, at our dinner and a dialogue. We're getting ready to have pizza and a dialogue. I'm going to give you all that information on next week. Pizza and a dialogue. That's where our children come together and they talk about this thing called bullying. They come together, they ask questions. We have a panel of young people and adults that will talk with them about their concerns. It's called Pizza and a Dialogue. We've had it, Mr. E, for a few years. Then the pandemic came. Now we're back with a Pizza and a Dialogue. We'll have rallies. We're trying to rally more people so our rallies can be a success, that more parents become aware of what's going on in environments where children are. We need the community to come together with us and other groups that are advocating about this thing and trying to keep children safe and try to develop children as great leaders. And so it's a call to action now. We want you all to get involved. Go to the website and make sure you are getting things that are good and wholesome for your youngins.
That's right. And I want to say good afternoon to Mr. Philip Brown. Thank you so much for tuning in to the most talked about radio show, After Dark, FYI After Dark. Thank you so very, very much. And a host of others, Naturally Marie, we thank you so much for tuning in. We couldn't have did it without you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your support, joining in. Let folk know about this call to action now. We'll be back on next week. We will have a special guest on another subject, but we will have more on the topic of bullying, and we will continue to advocate for our children, for our community, for our world, and we want you to be a part of it, okay? Right. So, Mr. E, again, I want to invite folk to bulvicacademy.com. And also beardgods.com. Chris Hinton is the owner. And please, we'll give you more information about some of the other things that we do. Speaking of cyberspace, I wanted to mention this. There's going to be a newsletter. Dion DeSuper is a really wonderful comic book for young people, and it does address cyber bullying. And so those things will be made available soon, along with classes and things like that. We're going to tell you a little bit more about where Bulvic Academy is going with all this, where Crystal Community Development is going with all this. Our programs, Young Men and Women Achieving Success, we'll tell you a little bit more about that the next time. But in the meantime, Mr. E, thank you so much. Give them some information how they can be special guests in our audience, how can it be sponsored, and how they can
if you'd like to be a special guest or sponsor on our live broadcast, that's FYI Live on WPCE 1400 Peace 95.3 FM, WMVA 88.9, and WPCE 1400. That's right. We own 2 AM stations and 2 FM stations, and we're on all social media platforms. That's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 to 10 on all those social media platforms and on WPCE. If you'd like to be a special guest or sponsor or intern, or you want to be in our audience, all you have to do is email us your email. That's right. Email us your email, and we'll email you back and let you know what day is available for you to be our special guest or audience of the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. And don't forget, if you want to be a sponsor, it's something that we say or something that we're doing and you want more of it, just let us know by emailing us at FYIRadiosHowLive@gmail.com, or you can go to Facebook and email and Facebook us, inbox at whatever Facebook page, Miss Yolanda the Lady Hinton Facebook page, or FYI Facebook page, or you can give us a call in the AM at 757-714-7861.
Don't forget to follow us on social media. We'll be posting where we are. I mean, you can go on any of our platforms and you can follow us. And we would love to have you as a part of what we're doing. Again, you can be a special guest. We are looking for some great content. We had a great guest today. Mr. E, tell them about this morning's sports talk.
On Sports Talk this morning, we had one of it, and it's Black History. We had one of the greatest folks that you ever want to hear about. His name was Mr. Johnny Walton. Absolutely. He was the first African-American quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. That's right. For the Philadelphia Eagles, he was the first African-American quarterback they had in 1976 and 1979. Johnny, his name is Johnny Booker Walton, was born October the 4th, 1947, is a former American player and a coach. He's a professional quarterback for the Continental Football League, World Football League, National Football League, and United States Football League. Walton played college football at Elizabeth City State University.
I tell you,
well, hats off to him, and he had so many honors. In 1968, he made all CIAA team quarterback. He's got the most valuable player in 1969, and he became a champion in 1975. So, hey, Mr. Walton, our special guest, and listen, that's another African-American that we honor, and we send him props to, and his team won last night. So, our hats off to you.
Absolutely. We have a wonderful time on our morning show. We have sports talk. We have men's issue, what's under the hat, women's issues, what's in your closet. We have serving, dat tea. We tell about breaking news and all kinds of things. But we have a wonderful, wonderful show, a time of giving, and so many other things. We want you all to be a part of what we're doing. Don't forget FYI After Dark, Mondays at 6 p.m. We're looking to see you there, but we're also looking to see you to join. We want you to join into the dialogue. We're going to be talking more, and we're going to be also Zooming and being on platforms where we can talk a little bit about all kinds of subjects. Now, we have Valentine's Day segment coming up soon. We want to talk about all kind of relationships, and we got to have the Mr. E, the love doctors, to come up and really show up and show out. We'll have some giveaways on our After Dark shows as well, and we want to see you here and there.
Want to let our listening audience know that on February the 3rd at 6 o'clock p.m., Mr. Hez Brown will be there. What a great books that he have written to help us to be able to deal with life's issues.
Conflict resolution and reparations. I love those two subject matters. So we'll be hearing from him on both our platforms, and we want you all definitely to be there. Also, when we do our relationship programs, we need to hear from you, because I'm telling you, a lot of people need to have answers to their love relationship, interpersonal relationship as well, not just their love interest, but trying to get along with mama and daddy and them and uncles and cousins and neighbors and co-workers. We're going to be dealing with all those topics as well. So we want to thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your support. We will announce, when we'll be back talking about bullying and how you can get involved. We'll have folk that's going to speak on the topic matter, and you all can stand by and listen. Thank you so much for coming. We have Hillbilly_girl lover join us on Instagram. Thank you. And we'll see you soon. Be blessed and join us on Wednesday. What's under the hat? Let's see who's coming. Do we have our are we going to be talking about insurance on
We're
that?
going to be talking about insurance. Mr. Rodney Wade would be our special guest. He's from Farmers Insurance. That's right. Mm-hmm. On Wednesday, Mr. Rodney Wade, and it's important for you to have insurance.
Yes.
A lot of folks don't understand, why should I have insurance? Well, Mr. Rodney Wade is going to let you know, why did you need car insurance? Why do you need property insurance? Why do you need homeowners insurance? Why do you need personal life insurance? So he's going to let you know what it takes and what you can do in order for you to get insurance for yourself. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. So join us on Wednesday for our morning show. That's at 9:30 a.m. And just make sure you look on our feed. We're going to definitely let you all know our Monday evening topics and how you all can come and be a part of that. Be blessed, Mr. E. Co-Hst is, I think that's how you say it. Achu, God bless you. And we will talk to you soon. Have a wonderful evening.
I was doing everything I could possibly do to hold that. Then all of a sudden, it just came. Again, thank you so very, very much. Don't forget to join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 to 10 on WPCE 1400 Peace 95.3 FM, WMVA 88.9 FM, and WGPL 1350 AM. And if you want to hear us all over the world, all you have to do is go to WPCE1400AM.com, WGPL1350AM.com, and we can be heard all over the planet.
And you can also see us live. You can actually get us to come to your special event, special occasion. We can talk to you about bullying, or we can talk to you about FYI or Crystal Community Development Corporation. We can be there hosting and emceeing for you. If you'd like to have... Go ahead, Mr. E.
This is a new year. If you need someone to host your broadcast, host your business, or to be in person, Miss Hinton and I will be there to do what you want us to do. All right?
Give us a call or inbox.
757-714-7861. That's 757-714-7861. Or you can email us at FYIRadiosHowLive@gmail.com.
I tell you what, we'll see you Wednesday. Have a blessed evening.
2 up, 2 down.